bounce off you if that works.
Where are we at today, Richard Reuer?
Well, hello there. My name is Richard Reuer, and I'm with the Civil Air Patrol Wreaths across America. And here we're at the Applebee restaurant here in Minot, North Dakota, and I'm with Tom Reuer. And Tom, tell us about what Applebee's is doing here in Minot for Wreaths across America.
Sure. Well, we're just honored, really honored to be part of this. It came to our attention a little while ago. We discovered it and said, well, this is just right in our wheelhouse. This is what Applebee's loves to do. We have a long-standing tradition of supporting veterans groups, whether it be from our free meals for all vets and active military on Veterans Day, to different charitable things that we like to support. So it really is, when you think about Applebee's being that all-American place, what better activity to do than to support veterans and those who have fallen and given the ultimate sacrifice for our country. We're just thrilled to be a little bit of it. And between what our guests do, they come through every time. We're so thankful. We have the best guests in town, and they always step up for our veterans, and we just love being a part of that.
Well, Tom, we're happy to know that you found us, and I'm happy that I've been able to find you through another source, and I'm grateful for that person, Dwayne Burkey, who told me about you having a wall of wreaths.
You bet.
And so I came by here to your restaurant. And I didn't come in this uniform. I was in another uniform because I was doing military honors for a veteran's funeral.
Sure.
And as my friend Steve and I were sitting nicely in a booth having our meal, and finally I checked out. Amy came out and she said, "Oh, you didn't give me a chance to give my spill about what we're doing here." And then at that time, then Steve introduced me to her and said, "Well, you're talking to the man who's the coordinator of Wreaths Across America."
It's a great story.
She showed me the wall, and you've done a fantastic job. And I understand you want to do this on an annual basis.
Absolutely. Yeah, we would love to be a part of it. Our goal for this year is to raise enough funds to purchase 100 wreaths. And that for us is really just the starting spot, right? So I think between our guests and everybody, we can make that happen, and then just grow from there. So we're really, truly just honored to be a part of what you're doing. Thank you for everything you do, right? It's such a great service that you do in your organization. You're the stars of the show, right? That's what we always say. The veterans are the stars of the show, and we're just a little bitty part of it, and we're really happy to do it. So thanks for letting us be a part of it.
I remember when I first brought Wreaths Across America to Minot, I walked into a Walmart store, and there was a handicapped lady in one of their grocery carts coming out. And I didn't have my uniform on anyway. My brother and I were going into Walmart's to get something, and she said, "You're the wreath man." And I said, "Well, that's the first I've ever heard that." But,
sure.
Yeah.
Been called worse.
Do you have any applications with you? I said, "Well, I do have them on my truck. I would like to get one right now." So I went out, brought her an application. Right there, she signed on the spot for a few wreaths. And when we first started 6 years ago, we started in the old section of Rose Hill Cemetery, which is section 12.
Okay.
We have approximately 300 veterans that are buried there, and they range from the Spanish American War to we have one that's there from the Persian Gulf.
Okay.
It's interesting, and she's a young lady.
Okay.
She's the only female actually in that section.
Okay.
Of all the men.
Sure.
So, and then we have also section 16, which we just opened up last year, and we have 550 rebar crosses.
Okay.
And we put those out on the last week of October. And this past 2 years now, we've had Salisbury High School help us put in those rebar crosses, along with some other volunteers in our community. And then we have section 28, which is not completely full yet, but once that gets full, then we'll be able to do in section 28, like we've done in section 16, because both those sections have flat stones. Section 12 is the only one that has an upright stone, so we're able to lay the wreaths and then tie them, because the wind in North Dakota likes to rearrange everything.
Absolutely.
put it in their place, you know. So, and so we have quite a few volunteers that come out and help in setting up the wreaths and everything. We also have other volunteers that help in preparing for before we have the ceremony and the laying of the wreaths, and we want to thank them as well. And, my goal is has always been at least 2,600 wreaths, and we usually use 1,000 here, but the other 1,600 would go to Arlington.
Okay.
And the reason for Arlington is because that's where Wreaths Across America first started.
Sure.
Back in 1992 by Merrill Worcester from Columbia Falls, Maine. He owns a wreath farm, and one year when he had so many wreaths left over, he just didn't want to throw them away, and so he decided to give them to Arlington, because when he was a 12-year-old boy, he was a newspaper boy, and he won a trip to Washington, D.C. at the age of 12.
Okay.
And he got to see all the different things in Washington, D.C., but one thing that impressed him the most was Arlington.
It's really a sight, isn't it? Yeah, it really is.
When I read his story, when I saw his story and everything, I felt like it was my story too, because I was the same way when I was even a young boy. My dad served in World War II, but he died in a car accident at a very young age. I was just 2 years old, and I always, when I was old enough to understand about my dad, where his grave was in Turtle Lake, North Dakota, I remember erecting a cross for my dad one summer. Went out, walked out to the cemetery from my grandparents' home. They didn't even know it until I came back and told them. I said, "You walked all that way." And but anyway, Morel's story really impressed me, and as I even see the wreaths in Minot here each year that we do it, I think of Arlington, and I remember reading a story about John F. Kennedy when he was at Arlington. And as he looked out the window from the house, he said, "I'd like to live here someday." And then one day, when he was shot, he's now living in a well-flying estate there in Arlington. And I've always thought, if I ever had the money, I would like to take my special need brother, Robert, he's my older brother, and I take care of him and everything. And I know he would love to see Arlington.
Sure.
And when we were cleaning the stones, he was helping me clean the stones one year for getting things ready for Memorial Day after we should cross America. And as we were doing those stones, I was visualizing Arlington, because the stones in section 12 are similar to the stones in Arlington.
Okay.
And they're white.
Yep.
Some of these stones were getting to be a little,
they were a little
just
tarnished.
colors and everything.
Sure.
So, and we're hoping that come spring before Memorial Day again, we're going to get some volunteers to help me do some cleaning of the stones again. Over 2 years.
What I find so fascinating is I was reading through the materials you gave me the other day, and I'm looking at your patch, and it says remember, honor, and teach. And I think all three of those things are so important, and I just have so much respect and admiration for not only what you do with the wreaths, and I understand you have an honored veteran that lays the first wreath in a ceremony, which I think is just, it gives me goosebumps thinking about it, but that idea of teaching younger people today the history that exists there and the history of sacrifice to provide for what we have. I mean, it's so vital, and I think, now I'm preaching, right? But in the pace of our world today, to be able to get somebody to slow down and anchor themselves to the past and those sacrifices, it's invaluable. And I just thank you so much for everything that you do to make that happen. I think that's really neat.
And that is the mission of the Wreaths Across America, that we remember our fallen, and we honor those who are serving, not only just in our country, but in countries far away, and they're away during the Christmas holiday. And then also teaching our children the value of freedom. And one day I was talking with someone in the cemetery, he was taking some pictures and everything, and he was inquiring about the bell tower. He said, "How often does that play?" I said, well, it plays at 12:15 and at 6 o'clock. And then at 8 o'clock, it plays taps. He said, well, I know about the 8 o'clock one because when we're out in the ball field playing, and we hear taps, we stop.
Sure.
And all the kids, we stand at attention, we put our hands over our heart. It was a national anthem.
Right.
And I thought, you've completed the mission
Sure.
of the Wreaths across America, that we're teaching our children the value of the freedom that they can go out there and play baseball.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
And the other thing that draws me to when I was doing Wreaths across America is that I think of the families at Christmas time. When we're all sitting around our family table and having a good turkey dinner or whatever dinner is.
Yep.
Mom is cooked or grandma is cooked or,
Right.
the smell of the food, but there's an empty chair that's sitting at that table. And that was one of the reasons why I thought about Wreaths across America, where we, as citizens of Minot, whether we're veterans or non-veterans, we contribute to Wreaths across America and remembering also the widows who are there still serving their family, still doing on. But
Absolutely.
I was talking to one widow, and it was interesting what she said, the day after my husband's funeral, I felt I forgot. And that's one of the reasons why we do Wreaths across America. We want to also remember the widows. We want to thank them for their loved one's service. We want to thank the moms for their sons and their daughters' sacrifice. Because if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't have Applebee's here.
Correct.
You wouldn't be able to serve the nice food that
That's
we
correct.
have, And I've been in I've been in a country. I was stationed in Okinawa, Japan, as a Marine, young
Sure.
Marine. And when I came back after a year, I learned to appreciate my country. Because when I saw over there, they enjoy what they do, but it was not like being in America.
Right.
And I can see why some people want to come to America from other countries because they see what we have.
You bet.
And the freedom that we can use. So that's one of the things that really stays in my mind about, we're all sitting at a nice holiday table. There's somewhere out there a home that has a missing chair, empty chair, but possibly sitting in front of that plate is a photo of that loved one. Again, Tom, I appreciate you having me here at your lovely restaurant, Applebee's.
Thank you.
And we look forward to hearing what all the wreaths that you posted up there. So anyone in Minot, I would say, stop in at Applebee's and learn more about what Applebee's is doing for Wreaths across America.
Well, I
Thank
really
you, Tom.
appreciate it. Thanks
God
for
bless you.
everything.
Have
God
a
bless
Merry
you.
Christmas.
You too.